Hi there. Yeah, this is a Philadelphia Phillies postcast on the Locked On YouTube channel. That's Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta, and welcome into this Phillies postcast where pretty much if it's a Philadelphia sporting event, we're talking about the depressing end to it here on this Locked On Phillies postcast. We had the Sixers last night. A little bit more disappointing. That, of course, was a playoff loss. Dreadful, actually. And then today, the Philadelphia Phillies, their streaks come to a crashing halt. Let's see what happened tonight. Trea Turner's hit streak, well, that ended. The Phillies win streak, of course, well, that ended. The Phillies' consecutive starts by their rotation was halted again with them going at least, 6 innings, allowing no more than 2 earned runs. That came to a crashing halt as well. Thanks, Christopher Sanchez. And you know what? Hat tip to the Phillies defense for also being terrible in tonight's game. 3 errors en route to the 8-1 loss. We will break it all down. But as for right now, you're Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel.
You are Locked On Phillies postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
That's right. Welcome in. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you guys hit like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff here on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. And this episode is brought to you by the amazing people at Monopoly Go. That's right. The episode is brought to you by Monopoly Go. I admire it. I admire a competitive side to somebody competing, and Monopoly Go is a great outlet for that competitive side. I'm a big fan of Monopoly Go, the mobile twist on classic Monopoly. So join your friends and download Monopoly Go right now. Free on the App Store and Google Play Store. Let's get to 3 big things, okay? As we always do. Let's jump on into it. First and foremost, Christopher Sanchez. What happened, fella? Because you have been a control pitcher. You have been a locked on, no pun intended, pitcher. Really dating back to last year. Consistency has been the name of your game. And then tonight, that all flew out the window against the Cincinnati Reds. Trouble locating. You battled Candelario in a 10-pitch at bat, to which he ended up winning that, working a walk. So you lost that battle, unfortunately. You had some things to go terribly wrong for you from a defensive standpoint. Trea Turner being one of the problems. Alec Bohm at first base, unable to reach out and be able to get that baseball that was thrown in the dirt by Trea Turner. Couldn't even keep him in front of him. But I'll get to that. Christopher Sanchez tonight clearly did not have his good stuff. And looking at the numbers for Christopher Sanchez, it's one of those instances that Rob Thompson is just going to pluck him from the game the minute he feels like it's over. Not that the game was over, but that Christopher Sanchez stuff was donezo. 3 innings of work tonight, just 74 pitches is all he could give you tonight through those 3 innings. That's a lot for 3 innings. But usually when we're talking about Christopher Sanchez, you like to see him get up there to the 6th inning. You like to see him get to a couple of outs, maybe in the 6th inning, and then he's only at 85 pitches, and then he gets pulled. This time around, unfortunately, struggled to get through those 3 innings of work. And here's how it broke down. 74 pitches, just 48 of those for strikes. Now, he was charged for 3 earned runs on the evening. It should be 1 earned run on the evening. 5 runs in total across the plate. They ended up going back and changing the earned runs. Originally, they charged him for 3. Now they're charging us, so you see it right there. 5 runs there in the rundown. Over 3 innings of work, he surrendered 4 hits and never really had command of his pitches. The changeup tonight was mostly hit rather than miss. And usually he's able to get guys swinging and missing and flailing at that changeup. Wasn't the case tonight. Fastball, he struggled with the location throughout tonight's game. It just wasn't the vintage Christopher Sanchez that we have seen since getting called up last year and really starting to hit his stride as a starting pitcher at the big league level. I will go ahead and chalk this up as, you know what? I hate this phrase, but my mom, she's a big baseball fan. She lives by this phrase, due. He was due. Sometimes a hitter's due to actually break out of a slump. They're due. In this case, Christopher Sanchez was due, I guess, to get his bell rung in Cincinnati with no defensive help behind him. As far as the lineup goes, they didn't do him any favors either, but we'll get to that. But let's get to that. The second thing here, and that's talking about what happened with this Phillies defense tonight, because I don't know what was going. Trea Turner has been playing well. Alec Bohm, when he's had to shift over to first base. Cody Clemens had to start at first base last night. Did a fine job, as he always does. Is a very good defensive first baseman. Even helped you at the plate by hitting a dinger in the 9th inning for a 3-run home run to make it a laugher of a 7-0 game. No such luck tonight. But what was absolutely mind-numbing with the biggest problem in the game tonight, the Phillies jump out to a 1-0 lead. Alec Bohm stepped up with 2 outs in the first inning and doubled home JT Realmuto. Back-to-back doubles, as a matter of fact, with 2 outs in the top of that first inning. Phillies go up 1-0. Just look like, look at that, that's great. Then, unfortunately, all hell broke loose in the bottom of that first inning. Fairchild reached on an error from Sosa, just couldn't corral it. Then Steer ends up helping you out a little bit by grounding into a fielder's choice, so you get the first out of the inning. Then Stevenson, he's able to pop out to right field, so you have Nick Castellanos coming on in pursuit to be able to make the play, so you got 2 outs. Then Candelario works that 10-pitch at-bat, to which he wins by working the walk. After that, it looked like Christopher Sanchez was just done. Like, from that point on, he looked like he didn't have his best stuff. Sanchez awards the walk to him after being up in the count 1-2. Also, you could say Cuzzy in that instance should have rung up Candelario on a 1-2 slider that was down in the zone. It was in the strike zone. It was called a ball. That's the break sometimes. Then Encarnacion Strand steps up to the plate and rips an RBI double to right field. It's a 1-1 ball game after that. Then De La Cruz steps up there and he ends up striking out. A 29-pitch first inning for Christopher Sanchez. 1 error already put up in the first inning. Then you move on to the 3rd inning, and this is just when the wheels came off, unfortunately. Steer flies out to right field to Nick Castellanos to lead things off. Stevenson walks. Candelario strikes out, looking at a single. So right away, you got 2 outs. You got 2 outs in the inning. You got 1 runner on, and everything's all right. Christopher Sanchez will be able to get out of this. No problem. Encarnacion Strand, while he's at the plate, there's a wild pitch from Christopher Sanchez. Stevenson, who walked earlier in the inning, is able to take second base. Pache then steps up there as a throwing error that hits Stevenson in the back. So if there's no wild pitch from Sanchez, this is where the wheels again come off. If there's no wild pitch from Sanchez, Stevenson doesn't get to third base. Stevenson does not get to second base. Then Pache fields the ball in left field, fires into home. It hits Stevenson, charge for an error, run scores. Then De La Cruz works the walk. Martini steps up. While he's at the plate, De La Cruz steals second base. There's an infield. This was ruled an infield single. To me, look, I know that Trea Turner had to go deep in the hole to be able to make this play, right behind the second base bag. Gloves it, pops up, fires to first in what should be getting you out of the inning with minimal damage, just 1 run scoring at this point, only down 2-1. Unfortunately, is a throwing error. De La Cruz scores. Martini scores. Everybody scores. And all hell breaks loose. Turner's got to make a better throw. He had time to make the throw. Actually, it was Martini running. He has time to make the throw. He doesn't make the throw. 2 more runs score. Got a runner on now. Espinal steps up. He gets an RBI single to center field. That plates another run. It goes from 2-1. It goes from 1-1 to 2-1 to 4-1 to 5-1. Sanchez is able to get out of the inning after that by getting Benson to ground out to first base. Christopher Sanchez could have done without the wild pitch. Could have done without 2 errors in the 3rd inning. Could have done without 3 errors. 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, that led to 4 runs crossing the plate. Talk about the wheels coming off. That's where the wheels come off, folks. Here, you know what? Something else that's fun. Here's the third thing. The only hit you got with a runner in scoring position today, the only hit you got was that Alec Bohm double in the first inning that played at JT Realmuto. That's it. 2 outs, back-to-back doubles. The only run of the ball game that you score. Also, the only time you get a hit, 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. And they were able to get 3 measly hits in the ball game going into that 9th inning before they had some luck on their side. Whit Merrifield stepped in the 9th inning, got you hit. Cool. Johan Rojas busted his butt down the line. By the way, gold star for Johan Rojas, at least for effort tonight. Made a great play in center field where he crashed into the wall, stayed in the game, and then hustled down the first baseline in order to beat out that throw for an infield single. Great to see it. And then, unfortunately, everybody else came up extremely small in this lineup. Alec Bohm had a multi-hit game. Good for him. Trea Turner, unfortunately, his hit streak ends at 11. He goes 0 for 4 tonight. Trea Turner, Kyle Schwarber, 0 for 8 with 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. The third big thing is a lack of Phillies offense. And that might be the obvious thing when you talk about 1 run against the Cincinnati Reds, but it's worse than that. Actually, it's bad. How bad is it? I'll tell you. Here's how it breaks down when it comes to the Phillies' opportunities in this ballgame. 5th inning, bases loaded, nobody out. Andrew Abbott pitching for the Reds. He walks 3 batters to start the inning. Again, bases loaded, nobody out. Kyle Schwarber strikes out. Trea Turner strikes out. JT Real Muto flies out to center field. Bases loaded, nobody out. What did the Phillies get out of it? Nothing. Actually, you know what they did get there? 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. That's what they got. Not just the bases loaded with nobody out. Not just Andrew Abbott saying, right this way, boys. Trot on down the first base line. Free passes galore. You had the top of the order coming up. Schwarber K, Turner K, JT flies out to center field. Blown opportunity. But wait, there's more. 6th inning, Alec Bohm steps up to the plate. He leads off with a double. You have a runner in scoring position to start things off in the 6th inning. Does he score? No. Yep. Spoiler, he doesn't score. All right. 7th inning, Sosa got hit by a pitch to lead off the inning. Go figure, nothing doing after that. 9th inning, with Merrifield led off with a single. You got a hit, at least, from Johan Rojas. And then after that, nothing. After that, you got nothing. A big old bag of nothing following that following the leadoff base runners in the 6th, 7th, and 9th inning. Look, you're not going to win them all. Let's get all the cliches out of the way. But I didn't expect Christopher Sanchez to pitch as bad as he pitched. And yes, the defense wasn't good behind him, but he didn't have his best stuff. Not even close. The defense to be as bad behind him, and the offense to be as terrible as it was tonight, especially in clutch situations. No better example than the 5th inning, base load, nobody out. That's a lot of things going wrong in one game. You're not going to win that game. You know what that game sounds like to me? That game sounds like 8-1. That's what that game sounds like to me. No chance of winning. The amount of things that went wrong in that game in this game tonight, equaled the Sixers game from last night. That's what it felt like. Everything that could have gone wrong in the last 30 seconds of that game was pretty much everything that could have gone wrong in this entire game for 9 innings, and it all went wrong. Trea Turner, he's not going to hit every single game. But I'd appreciate it if he was a little bit more patient at the plate, as I always preach with Trea Turner. We'll break that down coming up in a second and exactly what his at-bats look like tonight. We'll be right back. We'll take a closer look at what happened with 2 of the biggest hitters in the lineup here. 2 of the guys that certainly make this offense go, especially without Bryce Harper on the paternity leave now. We know he's on the paternity leave and all that. But 2 of the guys that can really help this offense get jump-started at any given moment, Trea Turner and Kyle Schwarber, will take a closer look at what they had going on for themselves tonight. You are Locked On Philadelphia Phillies postcast of the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. You guys have heard me talking a lot about the Game Time app. Buying tickets has never been easier or more efficient or more reliable than it is right now, thanks to the amazing people at the Game Time app. Game Time now, by the way, Game Time now, authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes tickets, getting them faster, easier, better than ever with the Game Time app. So download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, and make sure that you use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. You see it in the bottom of the corner right there of the screen. Locked On MLB. You'll have the all-in pricing. You'll have the seat views. You'll have the lowest price guarantee because the Game Time app, if you find tickets on another site or app for less money in the same section or row, excuse me, you get $20. Excuse me, you get 110% of the difference credited to your Game Time app account. And if you download the app, create an account, and you use promo code LOCKEDONMLB, you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Personally, what I love about the Game Time app is the all-in pricing. There's no big surprises at the end when you go to check out. It's all right there up front. So it's honest. And it's something you can work with there. So maybe you can even afford that extra ticket, huh? All possible with the Game Time app. The Game Time app, download to your phone, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Spell it out for you, Locked On MLB. You see it down there, LOCKEDON MLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed, all on the Game Time app. Now let's get serious for a second here, okay? Let's talk about a serious matter here, something that Policy Genius can help you with. We've all been through the search for good life insurance, important safety net for your family. You got to have it. By trying to find the right policy, it can be exhausting and time-consuming, a little overwhelming as well. Enter Policy Genius. Policy Genius comes to the rescue as the country's leading online insurance marketplace. Policy Genius saves you time and money so you can provide your family with a financial safety net starting today. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 per year for $1 million of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. I know I just had to go through this personally here, a whole rigmarole of it. No, thank you. That's why I'm glad that I discovered Policy Genius, and you could have the same advantage that I have. Policy Genius helps you compare your options from top companies and their team of licensed experts on hand to help make sure that you make the right decisions. Thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot as well from customers who found best fits for them and their needs. Policy Genius is where it's at. So make sure you take advantage of all Policy Genius has to offer. Check life insurance policy off your to-do list in no time with Policy Genius. It's effective, it is absolutely efficient, and it helps cut down on the time that it takes to find a good policy for that safety net for you and your family. Head to policygenius.com/lockedonmlb. That's policygenius.com/lockedonmlb. Or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/lockedonmlb. policygenius.com/lockedonmlb. Taking a look at Kyle Schwarber and Trea Turner tonight. As I mentioned, they both combined 0 for 8, one walk between them. It went to Kyle Schwarber, 5 strikeouts between the two. One of the things that stuck out to me tonight with Kyle Schwarber came up in that 5th inning when he was the first man to have a crack in that 5th inning at the bases loaded with nobody out. And unfortunately, what went down in that inning was a very impatient Kyle Schwarber. Now, I understand Kyle Schwarber's basic approach to the plate, especially when he's leading off a game in his first at-bat of the game. What Kyle Schwarber is trying to do, he's trying to find that first pitch fastball, and he's trying to drive it down the right field line into the second deck or for a long home run. In this case, there's no second deck in Cincinnati. So just drive it out of the ballpark. I get that as an approach to the plate in the first inning. What you saw there in the 5th inning of tonight's game was a guy that looked like he was pressing, and he's got no reason to press. Anything I feel like you get from Kyle Schwarber in the early goings of the season, in April, for instance, even in May to a certain degree, is gravy. June, as we all know, is when he starts to heat up. He's got 6 home runs already. He's had a nice streak going about himself. He's had a good approach to the plate for the most part. And you see him go up there. He's thinking he's going to get a first pitch fastball. He gets a first pitch fastball, and he flails at it. It comes in at the top of the zone. Abbott's still pitching at this point for the Reds. He buzzes at the top of the zone, and Kyle Schwarber swings well under it. He was hoping in that instance that Abbott was going to throw it right at his bat, and he didn't do that. Then the next couple of pitches he takes is a fastball, there's a sweeper, and then there's another sweeper thrown to him that he, again, swings under somehow on a high sweeper. It was there, a meatball to be belted out of the park. Again, a guy that looked like he was pressing tonight in particular, swings under it, and he couldn't do anything with it. Then he gets another fastball, and that was on the outside portion of the plate, not even the outside corner of the plate. And in that situation where you had the first crack at it in the 5th inning, he comes up extremely small. Could have changed the entire outcome of the game. Yes, in the perfect scenario, he hits a grand slam, and you're tied at 5 because you're down 5-1 at this point. Then Trea Turner's the next man up. Miraculously, he does not swing at the first pitch. It was a cutter, low and away. They had gone to the bullpen by this point. They brought in Cruz to throw to him, and he holds off. He watches the first pitch. Then back-to-back cutters, swings over top of and misses, and then he gets a splitter in the last pitch of the at-bat, low in the zone, and he swings over top of it. That's the exact Trea Turner that we're trying to avoid. I mean, I had put it out there because even on social media, you had a situation with Johan Rojas where he just worked a 9-pitch at-bat. He was tied up in that at-bat. He was up 2-0. Then Abbott ended up fighting back to make it a 2-2 count. He fouls off 3 pitches, takes a couple more balls, 2 more outside the strike zone, 9 pitches totally in at-bat. He wins it by working a walk in a 9-pitch at-bat. Next up, Schwarber down. Next up, Trea Turner. Yeah, no patience at the plate for him. He swings over top a splitter in the dirt almost, and that was it for 2 of the guys that I really had hopes for. JT Realmuto is your 3-hole hitter with Bryce Harper on the paternity list, then stepped up, and you really didn't get much better from JT Realmuto. He went down in the count 1-0, swinging over top of fastball, and then he got a cutter, middle of the zone, a little bit above the knees, put a good swing on it, and just hit it right into center field for the 3rd and final out of the inning. But looking at Turner and looking at Kyle Schwarber, very aggressive tonight. And I have been saying for a very long time that Trea Turner is absolutely at his best when he's able to be patient at the plate and he doesn't feel the need to press, because that's when he starts to force things happening. His following at bat, the 7th inning, he stepped up to the plate again. So in the 5th inning, looked like he was pressing a little bit. At least he took the first pitch. 7th inning, starts flailing at the first 2 pitches. And before you blink, big problem with Trea Turner. He finds himself in a big hole already at 0-2. And then he's trying to get out of it, and he just couldn't do it. Ends up making the 3rd and final out and striking out in that at bat. This is not the best version of these 2 hitters. Are you going to have huge nights every single night? No. Is Trea Turner going to have a 56-game hitting streak? No, that's not happening. But when you see them go into what is not their comfort zone at the plate, that's where you start to have a lot of concerns, and that's the concern I had tonight watching Trea Turner try to hit baseballs tonight, unfortunately. When we come back, there was, like I said, one positive thing. We'll jump into that. It does have to do with Johan Rojas and what he was able to do for Christopher Sanchez, what he was able to do for Matt Strahm, what he was able to do while he was in the ballgame patrolling center field tonight for the Phillies, as unfortunately they lost 8-1. We'll break down Johan Rojas' evening when we come back in a few here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Monopoly Go brings us his fine program tonight. You need to listen up. If you're a Monopoly person, if you're a classic Monopoly person, huge announcements. I've been tracking the leaderboards every day on Monopoly Go, keeping my eye on the scores, playing putting it all on the line, really. And I'm into it. And when you have that competitive edge that you need to scratch, and you have friends that are just as competitive, all the fun you can have. Super pumped to announce that I am finally on top of the leaderboards in my friend group. That's right. Obviously, I'm taking it on the mobile app. That's Monopoly Go. You've probably heard of it by now. It's been downloaded over 150 times, and it's a great mobile twist on the classic Monopoly game. You can play anywhere, anytime on Monopoly Go. You'll explore hundreds of Monopoly boards from Las Vegas to Camelot to the moon, all while raking in a huge fortune. Here's what you can do. You can charge rent on iconic properties, just like the classic Monopoly. You can charge your friends rent on your iconic properties, or you go after their Monopoly money by pulling bank heists. How much fun is this? And taking wrecking balls to their landmarks. It's just that much fun. But my favorite part, the leaderboards. When you can see who's a Monopoly tycoon and who's gone bankrupt. Wah, wah. So go get yourself on the charts. Download Monopoly Go right now. Now free on the App Store and Google Play as well. Monopoly Go. Have yourself a great time with Monopoly Go. Johan Rojas. We talked about the great numbers that he was able to put up on the homestand. Came back down to earth a little bit. Of course, the 3-hit night is not going to be the norm for Johan Rojas. He upped his batting average over 100 points on the 10-game homestand. Now they're starting the 10-game road trip. And Johan Rojas went out there tonight, and he was able to leg out that single, but he already worked that walk earlier in the game to load the bases in that 5th inning, an inning that proved to be all too crucial for the Phils. When they weren't able to cash in on that inning, you kind of had a feeling that that was going to be the end of it. They were already in their bullpen at that point. But Johan Rojas goes out there tonight, gets on base twice, so you see the on-base percentage tick up a little bit. But Johan Rojas now, with that hit, where he was able to leg out that hustle infield single in the 9th inning, now has put together a nice little modest 5-game hitting streak for himself. And in 3 of those 5 games, Johan Rojas has been able to have multi-hit games. Now, tonight it wasn't a multi-hit game. Last night, not a multi-hit game, 1 hit. But today he was on base twice, once with the walk and the other with the base hit. For me, Johan Rojas, talk about getting gravy, just a guy that's going to give you gravy out of the 9 spot for the Phillies in this lineup when you have a whole bunch of other guys that are supposed to be mashing for you. If this guy can just continue to flip the order over, this is why Kyle Schwarber is your leadoff hitter. Believe me, I am not pro Kyle Schwarber in the leadoff spot. It goes again. I like to refer to myself as a non-practicing baseball traditionalist where I like the pitch clock. I like the runner on second base starting the extra innings, and the designated hitter I finally come around on in the National League. Okay? Non-practicing baseball traditionalist. But Kyle Schwarber at the top of the order, for whatever reason, he wins ball games. The Phillies win ball games with him at the top of the order. So if Johan Rojas just gets the on-base percentage up and doesn't make outs and flips the lineup over, and the next thing you know, you got at least one runner on base with Kyle Schwarber coming up in the later innings after he actually leads off the game, you're going to have yourself some good times. And Johan Rojas went out there tonight and got on base twice and had opportunities for this Phillies team to score runs. Him getting on base in the 9th inning put a runner in scoring position in Whit Merrifield. Ended up not working out. Him getting on base in that 9-pitch at bat in the 5th inning flipped the lineup and helped get Kyle Schwarber to the plate. Now, there were no outs, but it got the bases loaded instead of Kyle Schwarber going up there and only having one runner on because there was just a double play. There's a 6-4-3 double play turned, and then Kyle Schwarber steps up with just a runner on third. Keeps the pressure on the pitcher. Did it help them out tonight? No, of course not. Unfortunately, it did not. But if you keep applying that same philosophy where the guy in front of Kyle Schwarber is going to get on base at a great clip, and a guy like Johan Rojas, who has been climbing the charts and his on-base percentage now up to 333, with just a 263 on-base batting average, that's pretty good. So if you can continue to get that, if that is going to be something with Johan Rojas, you can start to hang your hat on. And not just him getting on base, but the idea of him stealing bases, putting himself in scoring position. And the next thing you know, you get a deep fly ball from Kyle Schwarber. Forget about the 2-run home run, all that. But Kyle Schwarber is able to put a deep fly ball out there. He can tag, go to third. Trey Turner can put one down in the infield that just goes deep enough that you can score Johan Rojas. You're running on contact. You get that kind of speed at the bottom of the order and you have him get on base. That's all sorts of headaches right there for opposing pitching. So I love the idea of Johan Rojas. And one positive thing I could take out of tonight is that Johan Rojas is really starting to figure out at the plate. If he hasn't already, Johan Rojas really looks like a guy who is figuring it out. And the best part about tonight, the catch that he had was fantastic. He went up and made a great play in the 6th inning, I want to say it was. Casty had the great catch in the 7th inning. Let's see if I can find this. I want to make sure I have this. So, 4th inning. Wow, that flew by. The 4th inning, for the second out of that 4th inning, Marte was in the game. Steer hit the deep fly ball to center field, and Rojas tracked it down for that first out. He doesn't get to that. Stevenson comes up, hits a single, probably get another run on the board there. It's then a 6-1 ball game, but Marte was able to get out of the inning after that. Rojas stayed in the game after that 4th inning and helped out as much as he could for an offense that was absolutely stagnant. But if he's able to give you that center field spot, that great defense as he's been getting for you there in center field, then that's just beautiful. You know you're getting that. That's the thing you could bank on. But he starts to actually hit, starts to figure it out, then that's a guy that is certainly going to be helping you flip that lineup over, if not climbing up the order a little bit. The other thing about that 9-pitch at bat, I go back to the 4 foul balls that he had. He was already down in the count. He had 2 strikes on him. He was 2-2 count, fouled 3 or 4 pitches off, and he was able to work that walk. That, again, if you're lost at the plate, the way Johan Rojas looked for the first 3 weeks of the season, he's not eking out that walk. He's not putting up an at-bat like that. And that's exactly what he was able to do in tonight's game. Phillies will try to bounce back and get their second win of this 4-game series tomorrow. I believe it's another 6:40 start time for the Phils and Reds tomorrow as they play game 3 of this 4-game series. 6:40 start time tomorrow night. Here's the way this is going to shape up for the Phils. As for Christopher Sanchez, after Christopher Sanchez got the start tonight, Spencer Turnbull will get the start tomorrow. Nick Lodolo will get the start for the Reds. Spencer Turnbull, of course, coming off that great start. Took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. Surrendered just 1 hit, 7 scoreless. Not too shabby. 2-0 on the season. Lodolo, 2-0 on the season as well, having a great year. Just a ERA of 0.75. So that's what he's bringing to the table. The left-handed pitcher going up against the Phils. This will be his first start against the Phils, just his 3rd start of the season overall. He's coming off a tremendous start against the Angels. It was a 7-1 win for the Reds. He went 6 1/3, giving up 7 hits, allowing 1 earned run, striking out 6. He's got 16 strikeouts in his first 2 starts of the season. That's who the Phillies face tomorrow at 6:40. We, of course, will be bringing you another live Phillies postcast. Hopefully them getting back on the winning side of things after tomorrow night's game. 6:40 start time tomorrow. Make sure you guys click like, subscribe to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you do that so you have us reacting to every single big game in Philly. When it comes to the Phillies games and the Sixers games, we'll be bringing you all the instant reaction you can handle right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you. My name is Mark Farzetta. Again, hit like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. This has been a Locked On Phillies postcast.